Yo, what is up guys, and welcome back to another video on the now change of location, and I thought I'd make a video on my first impressions on med school. If you are new to the channel and you don't know who I am, my name's Sid and I'm a first year medical student at St George's University of London, and basically every year I tend to make videos on my first impressions of either sixth form, so you have year 12 and year 13, and this year I thought I'd bring back the series, but this time with med school, since I know a couple of you guys want to go to med school in the future. Now I have to say, I wasn't really sure what to expect from med school, as I feel is the case with most people, but just 3 months in I feel as though I've learned quite a lot and my impressions have changed, so I thought I'd share that with you guys in this video. Now with the intention of speeding things up, I've got the 5 things listed here. I'll probably leave timestamps in the description down below or on screen if I can figure out how to do that, and yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Now the first thing that was kind of unique about med school, and I have to say I kind of did expect this, was everyone seems to be so much smarter than you. I guess it's because in order to get in you have to usually get 3 A's or, oh, I just splashed everywhere 3 A's or somewhere along them lines, so for example 36 to 38 points in the IB. When I came to med school, I was feeling a bit confident, you know, my IB score was pretty good. I'm not sure if I can say it in this video because I don't know when this video is going to come out in relation to my IB video, but definitely check out my IB results video if that's come out already. So I was feeling myself, I was pretty confident, but within like the first week or so, I just felt out of place because everyone around me just seemed so smart, especially in DR. I remember in our first session, they were going through the cadavers and stuff, and people were just pointing out like veins, arteries, nerves, like it was no man's business, and I was just there like, yo, when did we cover this in the IB, you feel me? Now on to number 2, and I'm sure a lot of people that are in med school will agree with me when I say this. Medicine is way more than just passing exams, and the first few months of med school have definitely pointed that out to me. You know, you have your GP visits, you have your DR sessions, clinical skills. There's so much more to just like revising from your textbook, which I have to say is kind of scaring me because all I've done for like the last 5 years is revise from a textbook. So I don't know how I'm going to do in clinical skills. If you don't know what clinical skills is, and leading on from that, something that the professors have clearly emphasised throughout is that being a doctor is just more than getting the best grade. There's one lecturer, I can't remember who it was, but he was talking about how the best doctor is the one that can relate with patients the most and really communicate in a way that they can actually understand, because at the end of the day, a doctor can only do so much when the patient comes into the hospital. It's when they go back to their house and like the doctor's not actually there with them, that's when it counts. And now number 3, and apologies if I'm moving through these points really quickly, but as you can tell, like I'm dressed up and I actually need to go back to uni now, so I'm kind of in a rush, plus my battery's about to die, so things ain't looking great, people, things ain't looking great. I literally just got completely caught up there. I don't know what number 3 is. Oh yeah, number 3, secondary school is very easy. Now I know most of you are probably going to click off the video. I've had this realization as I've gotten older that every year that I go past just seems to get easier. Easier is not the right word. Harder, that's it. Every year tends to get harder, and you don't really appreciate that until you get into like med school. And I'm sure when I'm in like 5th year or something, I'll be looking back to 1st year saying, how did I even have time to film videos and stuff? Like every year just seems to get like harder and harder exponentially. I definitely miss the days of just getting textbooks handed out to you by teachers and having loads of exam papers online where you can like do practice papers, because you don't get those luxuries in med school and it really sucks. You're kind of just left to your own devices to try and, you know, figure out education for yourself. Now this links very nicely into my next point, which is that lectures are so boring, and this is not like the professor's fault or anything, but it's just literally someone just talks at you. There's literally so much information being shoved down your throat, and it's so difficult at times just to try and literally breathe and survive. Like it's literally so peak, and this ain't like a little, you know, 9 to 10 AM thing. Like it's 9 to 5 some days. And I remember one Friday, they tried to finish us here. Imagine we had like lectures from 9 AM, 6 hours straight, no lunch break, 6 hours. Like as you can imagine, as the lectures went on, like basically in between lectures the lecturers switch out, and in between those switching out you just have like a trickle of students walking out, and like gradually the lecture hall just getting less and less filled. Like it was so funny. Woo. I've not done a sit down video in a while. My final point in regards to my first impressions of medical school is the level of independence that you have. And now this could be a very good thing or a very bad thing if you're like me and you lack self-motivation. Like your parents aren't there to like force you to get up and go to your lectures at 9 AM in the morning. Realistically, your lecturers don't really care if you if you turn up to your lectures, and with the exception of DR and clinical skills, which I think are compulsory, no one's really tracking like where you are at any like no one really cares where you are. Now, don't get me wrong, this can actually be like a blessing during Freshers Week. So for example, if you go out the night before and you come back and you're absolutely shattered, you don't really have to go to your lectures in the morning. But the problem is, with that level of like independence and no one really telling you to go to your lectures, this can definitely become a habit, and then before you know it, a month in, you've gone to no lectures. And obviously come exam time, it's gonna be peak. That being said, this can actually be really cool. For example, if there's a lecturer who just literally reads off the slides, and basically there's this thing called Panopto in uni. I don't know if other unis have the same thing, but I'm sure they have a similar kind of video recording service that records the lecturers. So basically, if there's a lecturer that just literally reads off the PowerPoint, you can just stay at home and then do that yourself. And obviously working at home is a lot easier than in lectures, where, for example, the person next to you might be talking, or people just sleeping and messing around, or like playing Fortnite on laptops, for example. Not that I do that. I don't know. Who's Fortnite? I'm just playing. Anyone that knows me will tell you that I'm always awake, always focused, 100% zoned in during lectures. And on that note, boys and girls, that is the end of the video. I hope you guys did enjoy. Apologies if this is a bit short and like a bit rushed, but my cameras are literally flashing at me, telling me, Id, I run out of juice yet, wrap this video up. So I hope this did give you some sort of insight into, you know, first year of medical school, or at least the first few months. I'll probably make another type of similar video towards the end or in the middle, where I talk about how I'm actually finding med school, because we haven't really done too much. I mean, we've had like GP visits and lectures and all the DR kind of stuff, but not that much stuff has really gone on. If you are new to the channel, I'd encourage you, hit that subscribe button, guys. Make sure to follow me on Snapchat, guys. It will be on the screen somewhere. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.